Hello everyone and welcome to the only podcast on the internet or in the universe where both people are rocking Pip Boys. I am Jimbo from Retro Game Lounge, still here everyone. That is Tyler from Metroids Primed, and welcome the fuck back on the airwaves to the Nerd Bucket Podcast. We are here to stay. The Bearded Wonder, the Ball Bravado, man. We're not going anywhere. We just took a little staycation, man. You know, we both had some shit going on. But, dude, by popular demand, a lot of you guys were foaming at the mouth. You're like, dude, when's the next fucking bucket? Guys, we're here. We heard you. We got some awesome listener questions. And, dude, we have a shitload to talk about, man. It's been piling up. We're talking like a manure-sized pile of shit to talk about, except it's like rose-smelling manure. But anyways, Tyler, how have you been, dude? I seriously haven't really talked to you since the last time we did the podcast.
Well, I really haven't been up to a whole lot until this past week, and you know,
I know where this is going.
As the intro stated, you know, we had a pretty big game released, and it's something that I think everybody's been waiting on for a long time, and that, of course, is Fallout
4.
And, oh yeah, Fallout 4. So, have you gotten a chance to actually dive into it yet?
Are you fucking kidding me? It's like, my life is what I've been doing in between times I've been playing Fallout.
That's right.
Like, Fallout hasn't been, like, the time filler. My life has been.
I must say that this was well worth the wait.
Oh,
I mean,
shit,
it's definitely, like, living up to the expectations that I had.
Absolutely.
For it. So, I've been really, really impressed with it so far. Graphically, the gameplay, I mean, it's everything I hoped for and more. And, like you were saying, we both got the Pip Boy editions of the game. Jimbo and I are both rocking it right now. I was actually really impressed with the quality of the Pip Boys. Just there's a few little things that I didn't quite care for.
What's that?
On the Pip Boy, though. The first off is there's... I don't know. I assume these were probably made in China, but
isn't everything?
I had a couple pieces that were actually not screwed in on my Pip Boy, so I actually had to borrow screws here and there. Like there's like a little faux button on the side that you can push.
Yeah,
and
mine goes all the way in.
Did it pop back out?
No,
or is it stuck in there now?
It's like it's stuck in there.
Yeah, so I had to actually, I made the mistake of pressing that button, you know, just like you did, and it pushed in, and I guess it was the instructions of how to, like, assemble it together, but, you know, I had to borrow a screw from somewhere else to place in that, to where it would, you know, not pop in every time you touched it. Also, on my Pip Boy stand here, if you'll notice, you know, it's got a nice little stand for your Pip Boy to sit on your shelf. One of mine kind of goes in, so I'm going to have to figure out a way to kind of glue that to where it'll stay up, because, like, when I put the Pip Boy on it to rest, it kind of sinks in a little bit, and it doesn't sit on there straight. Does yours do that too?
Nope.
Yours is solid? Yeah. But I mean, other than that, I thought the construction was really nice. What about the steel latch?
That I thought was impressive.
Yeah, and, you know, the phone app that goes with it, I mean, works perfectly. It looks just like your Pip Boy in the game. I love the boot up screen that goes through it, even though, of course, it's part of your Pip Boy that you got with the game. But I thought the carrying case that it came in
top notch
was pretty nice. So looks awesome on the shelf. I was impressed with that. By any chance, did you get the Fallout 4 strategy guide from Prima?
I did not. Did you?
Oh yeah, dude, it is super nice.
Isn't it
Hold on one sec.
hardbound, I think?
Yeah, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
All right, I've got it right here, and it comes with a little folio here
Nice.
from Vault Deck, and you open it up, and it has all of the different little perks.
Uh-huh.
So it's got a bunch of those where you can, I guess, like make a little display or something, like framed display for your walls. And it comes with like a beautiful map. The map's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, really nice
Wow.
hardcover survival guide. Really detailed on all the enemies. I don't know if you played Demon Souls or Dark Souls. Prima made some really nice strategy guides for that, and it shows all the levels of the enemies and the weapons in detail. So really cool strategy guide. I usually get these for after I beat the main game, just to like explore, areas and dungeons maybe that I didn't find playing through it myself. So it's a neat way to kind of complete the game a little bit more than what I normally would just on the initial playthrough. But
cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was a really good. It came out Tuesday, right? So it was a great Tuesday. Little surprise in the mail, and then I believe this next Tuesday we have Battlefront, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got Battlefront, and something else comes out that day. Oh, well, not gaming related, but the Hobbit Extended Edition comes out this next Tuesday. So I'm looking forward to seeing that and seeing what in the world they added to the Hobbit to actually give it a rated R rating. So
definitely.
But yeah, and also a game that came out Tuesday was Rise of the Tomb Raider, and actually I'm holding off on that one. I had to kind of choose. There's too much stuff coming out at once, so I actually put that on the list for my girlfriend for Christmas. So we'll see if I get that for Christmas or not.
Awesome.
I put like that and Halo and a couple other games. So
sweet.
Yeah.
So I've got a Fallout 4 story for you. Something that actually happened to me today that I just kind of happened upon by accident. Okay. So for anyone looking for this, if you want to find it, it's across the street from this, I can't remember the name of the hospital, but it's a really big hospital where you actually have a mission where you have to rescue this guy. It's the Silver Shadow mission, basically. Or Silver Shroud, excuse me. Like the last part of it. If you come out of that door and you go directly across the street, there's this door where it's got like arrows pointing to go in. Excuse me, my nose itches. And I don't know if this has to do with part of the story or a mission or something like that. I think it might just be some random thing that Bethesda just threw in. But dude, you're basically going up this parking garage, and the entire thing is like a maze kind of labyrinth it's like playing the Saw movies. Everything is laden with traps.
What? That's awesome.
Everything. Like I just started out and I thought it was just like a little quick corridor where I go in and then all these fucking rad roaches start falling from the ceiling. I'm talking like buckets of them. Like I had to back out and Molotov their ass to put them down. There was too many to freaking bash to death. So I'm like, oh, that was kind of weird. And then I noticed there's like a corridor leading around. I'm like, all right, let me do this. And there's all these arrows like telling you where to go, and all these bodies like pinned up in like really macabre kind of positions. And all these kind of puzzles where you have to like push a certain, like 4 buttons, you have to push them in a certain order to unlock these 4 doors. Just all kinds of little things like that. There's a room where there's nothing but scales that are all set to trip to grenades. So you have to go through and disarm. I'm talking like 20 or 30 of them. Trip wires, all this kind of shit. There's a thing where a bunch of ghouls try and take you on, including a fucking glow one, the fucking super radioactive guy. And it's just trap after trap. And dude, it took me like the better part of 30 minutes to get through this thing. Because you gotta, at one point you're like crawling through it because you're looking on the floor for traps. And I'm talking serious traps, like where you pull something and a fucking rocket comes towards you.
What?
Like one just barely missed me only because I was ducking. Like I'm looking on the floor for
Oh
traps and
wow.
I didn't see the pressure plate. Next thing I know, I see a missile and it's like flies past me. I was like, holy shit, that would have killed me. You know, like fire bombs dropping from the ceiling, lights the whole floor on fire, just all kinds of shit. Um, and at the end, there's like this thing. You've got two like prison cells that you have to pick from. There's a button that opens each one. I'll give you guys a little hint. Whichever button you press, the other one will be destroyed because there's flamethrowers set up in each prison cell. So whichever one you want to preserve, push that one because the other one's going to get fucked up. Like the wires basically
All
get
right.
crossed. There's one with a mini nuke in there, so you probably want that one since those are pretty hard to find. But I was just randomly freaking cruising, man. I run into this, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But I mean, there's so many things like that in a Bethesda game where they throw in little nuggets that outside the story, just kind of random things that you happen upon where you see really cool shit like this.
Isn't that the great thing though about the Bethesda games like
Sure.
that and Skyrim? Like, it really, really rewards you just for going around like searching the environment.
Hmm.
I know I was like in a landfill or something the other day, and I like kind of crawled in this hole, this tunnel or whatever, and there were all these rats that were plague rats that were jumping at me, and I
Nice.
um, killed all of them, and or no, they were the mole things,
Oh, mole
mole
rats.
rats.
Mole rats,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, anyways, so I finally get in there, and there's just like a ton of like uh, the rat away or and the stem packs and just a lot of ammo and stuff, and I just loved the exploration. And then I walked into like a looked like an old nursing home,
Huh.
and it's on your way to a mission, and there's nothing in the whole nursing home except like a comic book. You find the comic books and they'll permanently increase
Sure.
stats and all that. So it really really, I guess, rewards you just for the exploration in the game. So one thing I definitely love about the Fallout games and of course Skyrim, the Morrowind games. So I'm impressed with it. I can't wait to really dig into it more. I just hate that they release these at this time of the year because there's so much stuff coming out,
Hmm.
all at once, and you just want to, reach in and play everything. And
Hmm.
I know it's going to take me a while, before I can get into the Tomb Raider, and I'll probably spend most of the holidays probably playing Fallout 4
Of course.
and Battlefront, I think. So,
Awesome.
but yeah, it's good.
I'm
What
loving it.
else you been up to, man?
Um, well, let's see. Uh, for anyone following my YouTube channel, you would have seen a video from me recently where I documented me finally getting my Turbo Duo fixed and back from
Oh,
the
nice.
Brainiacs at East Starland, who were kind enough to fix it up for me. And it's so you get to see my. If you haven't checked it out, it's a very personal video, but I also think it's a very fun video where you literally get to see my very first time playing a Turbo CD game. You actually get to see me pick it up from the store, and we just spent like the whole day playing Turbo CD games, Gate of Thunder, Lords of Thunder, just all kinds of stuff.
Now, didn't I see a video on your channel? I think it was Turbo CD, but did they have some FMV games?
Yes.
I was watching one of them, and like I don't see how we survived back then playing those games because it was so slow, like the loading times on it.
Yeah.
I was
I
just like,
think you're talking about It Came from the Desert, which was
yeah, that's exactly what it was.
that's basically the first CD game that they released. Like it was using the original system card, and the whole point of the system cards as they release them is it's basically a RAM card.
Yeah.
There was two revisions on top of that where they obviously increased the RAM quite a bit. So the first RAM card actually obviously very very weak RAM, so that's really the most that they could muster.
Hmm.
It's really like watching a really bad movie. I mean, it's like it
Yeah.
makes Night Trap look like Game of the Year. I mean, it's so bad, dude.
But I mean, if you remember all of those games back then from that time period, I remember even the computer games at that time. You remember the Command and Conquer, Red Alert,
Hmm.
uh, the little cut scenes where they would have the acting and all that, and even back then, like that that was so hammy the way they acted. It was
Of
all over
course.
the top and all that, but it was kind of fun at the same time.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, like for every crappy Turbo CD game there is, there's at least one or two really good ones, because there's, the Gate of Thunders and the Lords of Thunders and what's the one I'm missing? Buster Brothers. I mean, there's just so many. The Work and Designs games, all of those on Turbo City, which are fucking awesome. I mean, it's just there's such a huge library of those that are a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to playing a lot of them online, and I'll definitely be doing that live on the air. That's the best way to do it, in my opinion.
Well, Jimbo, while we're talking about the video games, do you want to talk about your Kickstarter
Absolutely,
game?
I sure do,
Yeah,
man.
because I've actually got something Kickstarter related right after you finish that one.
Sure.
So,
Well, my first and only Kickstarter game that I've backed, man. I guess I know how to pick a winner because Friday the 13th got funded, ladies and gents. Let me get you the specifics here. They did meet a couple of stretch goals, mainly at the end. The talent, I guess you could say, behind the game actually threw in some money out of their own pocket to push it past a couple stretch goals. So the original goal was 700,000 to get the game completed, and it raised over 800,000. So we get three stretch goals. One of them being the mirror kill, where I guess he like smashes somebody's head into a fucking mirror or something. The 3D head crush kill, where eyeballs pop out, which is a fan favorite from the Friday the 13th series, where he's like that, and the eyes come out of the head. And the rip your heart out kill, which again is another fan favorite, which was at 775,000. Unfortunately, it did not reach the single player stretch goal. That was a pretty lofty one at 1.625 million. So it literally didn't meet that basically by half. But the bottom line is, man, the game got funded. It's going to get made. We will have it by next October. That's what they're promising. And I read today that actually the game was going to go forward regardless. Like they were going to make this whether it made Kickstarter or not. I guess the Kickstarter just helped
yeah,
facilitate extra shit.
right. I
Which
think they saw the
that's fine.
interest behind it.
Of course.
And I'm sure they're going to get some money,
Oh,
on
they
the
are.
side from somebody else because they say this is a marketable game, and it
Absolutely.
sounds fun as hell. The multiplayer. So yeah, I think it's a no brainer personally.
This is definitely going to change multiplayer as we know it. This is a whole new dimension of multiplayer, and I'm looking as much forward to playing a camp counselor as I am to playing Jason. I think both of those could be equally fun. So if you have an Xbox One, man, you want to rock out with me and Tyler next year, October 2015, by all means, man, we'll be online playing, either avoiding getting killed by you or trying to kill you. Either
Well,
way, it's going to be fun.
congratulations, man. I know you didn't have anything to do with the game other than supporting it, but I know that's like right up your alley.
Oh,
Just
dude, I can't wait.
stuff you love. So
I love this.
um, I'm happy for you on that one,
I'm
and
happy.
happy for the gaming community. I mean, it's gonna be good for everybody.
Oh,
So
there's no question. I'm very happy that I'll be getting a limited physical copy that's unique to Kickstarter. I understand they are going to sell these in stores, so if you do want
okay,
a physical copy, you can get one. But
and they
guy,
should. I
oh,
mean,
of course,
they ought
this
to
is a collector's
maximize
game.
their and it can only be good in the sense that maybe they'll add more stuff to it
Sure.
or add updates later on that'll advance the gameplay of it even more. So
Yeah, I
uh,
mean, just because we didn't hit the extra Kickstarter goals does not mean that they're not going to do DLC.
right,
Because you
right.
can make money on the back end for that, where they just charge up front for it, 20, 30 bucks or whatever to add single player or something. It's
Hmm.
they can print money with this thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think they're going to do well.
Well, in other Kickstarter news, I finally got the email. I want to say it was either yesterday or Friday
Hmm.
on my Kickstarter that I backed back in like 2012 or
Oh my God,
2013
that's
for
absurd.
for Watermelon's RPG Pure Solar. So it's actually shipping out finally. They've been saying that it was about to ship since June or July, and I finally got the notice that it shipped, and I've been seeing some YouTube videos of people actually going through their stuff, so it's out. I'm finally going to get it this week. I'm hopefully be able to report back, next podcast next week, and tell you that I've actually gotten to play it. But this is a game that actually originally came out for the Sega Genesis. It's a homebrew RPG, like very old school style RPG, like Final Fantasy, top down, RPG from basically like the 90s. And they originally released it for the Sega Genesis, and I don't know what the reason was on doing the Genesis as opposed for like the Super Nintendo, but I'm sure it had something to do with like the ease of making the games, or just the accessibility of maybe blank cartridges or something like that. But they did a real limited release of this game initially for the Sega Genesis, and the games were extremely expensive, like upwards of $500 or $600. Not for, people that pre-ordered it got it for normal price, but it was so hard to find in such a limited print run. Like, people were just paying out the ass to get these things. And then they came back and they did another second release of it. And still the same case. Like, there was a lot of people that wanted to play it and all that. So this developer, Watermelon, actually did a Kickstarter back in 2013 and said they were going to update all the graphics from Pure Solar. It was going to be in high def, even though it's not really high def. I wouldn't say, being on a Dreamcast. But anyway, so they actually were able to fund it back then, and it was supposed to release in December 2013, which that didn't really seem feasible anyways, because I think it ended in 2013 or 2012. But regardless, it's just been this long drawn out process. And a lot of people were really upset. One of the main guys at the studio, one of the main developers, actually left because of all the problems of releasing this game. And I actually went through a time just thinking I wasn't ever going to get it. And I was, afraid I was going to have to call the credit card company just to, tell them, I need my money back. It was fraud and all that. But thank God I'm finally getting it. And it looks really high quality. I got the collector's edition, so I get a real nice strategy guide, the game. I want to say maybe the soundtrack and some other stuff.
Awesome.
With that, so I'm excited to see if that actually comes to fruition, and I get it this week. But I saw the track and it said it left Las Vegas, so
cool.
So we'll see if that's the case. But
oh, that reminds me, there was one more part of my Friday the 13th Kickstarter package that I forgot to mention.
All right,
which I think is the most awesome part. When you're looking through the credits of the game,
I'm going to see your name there. Nice.
It's under special thanks. I mean, there's probably going to be thousands of fucking names, so you probably will have trouble finding me, but I'm going to fucking look for mine.
You know what I always regret I never did? I'll never forget back in the day on theonering.net. This is a real Lord of the Rings fan site here.
Remember.
And back then, you could pay a certain amount of money to have your name on the credits of the Lord of the Rings movies. And if the extended edition, I don't think it did it on the theatrical, but on the credits of every extended edition, you'll see just tons of names from all the fans and all that. And that's what that was from. And I want to say it was like maybe maybe $100 or something like that per movie. But I really wish I would have done that back in the day just to have my names in the credits of that movie. Just,
Absolutely.
I mean, that would have been badass, but I didn't do it, and now I'm just filled with regret. But
I'm sorry,
did you
Tyler.
did you by any chance see that the day Fallout 4 came out
That
that
Pornhub.
yeah, Pornhub actually stated that their traffic went down significantly from people not getting on porn websites.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That the
that is
porn
amazing.
industry is feeling that this game is so big and so important that people are stopping watching porn just to go get engrossed in the Fallout world.
But that's a really like
They kill it, dude.
has magic in a bottle. I mean, they do. Every game they come out, they kill it. Um, Now, I know the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 people might not be saying that because it always seems that the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4 versions of the Skyrim game, and I saw that there were some glitches
Hmm.
in the PS4 version of Fallout 4. But I mean, for the most part, they kill it on every version of those games.
I really haven't had any
So
problems with mine yet, other than just a
I
couple of
haven't
minor
either.
things like a quick save taking a little bit too long. Like it's like maybe 1 out of 10 times where it'll just kind of freeze and it almost to the point where you think the shit is crashing, but I guess it's just
Every
dragging ass.
once in a while, you'll have like a crazy like physics thing going on where like a body will be acting stupid or something. But
I
um,
got a badass fucking physics one actually recorded by my Xbox, and I'll definitely put this one up on YouTube. I don't know what the fuck happened because I've never done this before or since. But I showed it to Savage Matt, one of the guys who hosts Dirt Flicks with me, and dude, I've almost never seen him laugh that hard. This is just one of those things where I was just using a simple double barrel shotgun, and this guy was on this little platform above me. He wasn't that far away, and I'm going into vats, and I light him up with both barrels. And on the second shot, dude, this isn't like a big warehouse with a really high ceiling. This guy just fucking flew. Like he took off like a rocket, like straight up to the point where
that's awesome.
he's like flying in slow mo, like in the VAT system. And then when the VATS cuts out and it goes back to real time, you see his body falling, and he actually hit the ceiling. And I was
What?
like, what the fuck? I mean, it wasn't a modded shotgun or anything, just, straight up double barrel, nothing special about it. And it just fucked this guy's shit up, man. I was like, how the hell did that happen? And I mean, I wasn't complaining because it was awesome, but as soon as it happened, I was like, Xbox, record that. That's what I really love about having an Xbox One is like, you don't have to tell your friends about it later. You can be like, dude, watch this.
Let me
Just the
show you.
documents. Yeah, exactly. Let me show you the fucking shit that I caused. And I'm sure I'm going to be having tons of those just playing Fallout because there's so much to do that it's just insane.
Well, Jimbo, and other gaming news, I wanted to kind of go over some of the deals that are going to be hitting the stores here in the next week or two
Black Friday
for
deals, you
Black
mean?
Friday. Yeah, I've
Oh, dude,
got
I haven't heard anything about these, so lay 'em on me, bro.
all right, so I've got GameStop's deals here, and I'm just going to do GameStop's because pretty much every store I've seen has had the same deals for the PS4 and a lot of the games that they're offering. There might be some variations, but this pretty much encompasses everything.
Okay.
All right, so there's going to be an Xbox One and a PS4 bundle. For Xbox One and the PS4, they're both going to be 500 gigabyte systems,
Hmm.
and PS4 is offering the Uncharted collection, and it looks like Xbox One is offering the Gears of War collection.
Saw that coming.
Um, Both of them are going to be $299 each,
Whoa.
so $50 saved on each of those,
Nice.
and you get a free game on top of it.
A collection of games in both
Right,
cases.
and if you're looking at getting a PS4, what better collection of games to get than the Uncharted series? That's my favorite series from PlayStation. So great series there. And when you get stuff from GameStop, you're not going to get a digital game.
Right.
So,
Since they don't do that. That's the only
yeah.
classy thing that they've done recently.
Yeah, so I like that with GameStops. You're getting physical games now, so that's a good thing there, and I would assume the same thing with Xbox too. So that's really it on the front page there. There's also doing something like if you buy Battlefront, you get $30 on another EA game, which is pretty much like All Sports or Dragon Age Inquisition or Need for Speed.
That's cool.
Yeah, so
I've noticed a recurring, or rather, a trend that's beginning this year, and I personally think it's a good thing. Where a lot of stores are saying that they're not going to be open on Thanksgiving, which
yeah,
I always thought was stupid. You know, that they'd open late on Thanksgiving because it defeated the whole purpose of Black Friday. Like you can't even wait until the next day. You know, I mean, dude, I don't know about you, buddy, but dude, I'm an American and I'm from the South, and Thanksgiving is a really big deal in my household. And the last thing that I want to do when I've got a belly full of turkey, potatoes, stuffing, and fucking dessert and everything like that is go wait in line for something. Like
yeah.
I want to lay there and fucking relax.
I'm not for it at all. I think that was a lot of the excitement of Black Friday back in the day was waking up real early
Yeah,
on Friday morning and trying to get to the store, get the deals, you know. And every store now is like trying to one up the other one.
sure.
Oh, you're opening at 3 o'clock. I'm opening at 2 o'clock.
Yeah,
You're opening at 2 o'clock. I'm opening at 1. Oh, I'm opening the day before.
yeah.
8 o'clock at night, and it's just gotten earlier and earlier and earlier. And I saw where somebody was going to be open at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Thanksgiving.
That's
But one
awesome.
thing I do like with Walmart that they're doing is they're getting rid of the doorbusters and all that, and they're making a lot of those deals available online. So it's going to
Which
take a lot of that, people standing in line trying to, be there early, missing out on Thanksgiving dinner. Really the deals aren't worth missing out on
no.
time with your family
Th-
because, I mean,
This is
that's
Tyler. This is the age of
irreplaceable.
the internet. It is fucking absurd that we actually
Yeah,
have doorbusters in this day and age. Like,
right.
thankfully, we have companies like Amazon who don't have brick and mortar. They still do Black Friday and they do Blue Monday, and you can get off your fat turkey ass, walk over to your computer, boom, 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 boom. That's it.
Yeah.
That I'll do because I don't have to leave the house. That's fine. But I have a feeling that what you were mentioning about Walmart is soon going to become the norm. That is going to become
Yeah.
the standard, and I'm sure they'll have a handful of like in-store deals. But guys, this is getting absurd. You know that these people flock into these fucking stores. Use the goddamn internet. I mean, this is so much easier. It
Yeah.
really is. It's not people running over each other. You have absolutely zero chance of injuring yourself or anybody else. Come on. Let's grow up, man. We're in the information age here.
All right, and I've got a another couple of bundles for the Xbox that are going to be offered for 350, and another. Oh, this is a 1 terabyte system
Nice.
Xbox. 350. You get the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, Rare Replay, and
Mm,
Ori and the Blind Forest. So that's a pretty
wow.
good little bundle there, and they're doing the Elite bundle, 1 terabyte, and the Elite controller for 449.
That's not bad.
No.
That's a pretty
Um,
sweet deal.
uh, let's see. That looks about all on that page. There looks like there's a monopoly for every fucking thing under the sun. They have a Fallout 4 Collector's Edition monopoly, a Halo monopoly.
Wow.
Okay, here's a really good deal. Looks like you can get The Witcher 3, which I haven't gotten yet, for looks like $30. That's a pretty good deal on that one.
Not a Witcher fan.
Um, Zombie Army Trilogy, $30. So that
You
I'll
got
finally.
no fucking excuse now, Tyler.
That's right.
Dude, you just fucking sealed your fate on that game, and the internet is the
I told
witness.
you. I
You are
told
gonna
you
get
that
that
I
fucking
was.
game.
I told you if it was offered
$30.
um, for $30, I would get it on Black Friday. So
All right,
looks like
I'm
we
holding
got
to
our
that.
wish.
I don't have anyone, dude. I swear to God, I am so depressed that I have no one to play with. Everyone, like Savage Matt got it on PS4. I'm like, really, man? Like, come
Yeah,
on.
my buddy Larry does that. He gets everything on, like, he's who I play Resident Evil with normally,
Hmm.
and he got it on PS4, and he hadn't gotten an Xbox One yet. I'm like, dude, you're killing me. Like, all of my other friends have Xbox Ones. He's got a PS4, and I mean, I plan on getting a PS4 one day, but I just hadn't gotten it yet. I had one, but I sold it. But all right, here's another deal. You could buy Rise of the Tomb Raider or Assassin's Creed Syndicate and get a free Assassin's Creed Unity. That's about what they're giving it away for free.
Which ain't much.
Yeah. Oh man, I hate I went ahead and got Wolfenstein: The New Order, brand new, $15.
That's only 5 or what I saved. I paid 20 for it.
The Toy Soldiers War Chest, $15. If you like the Toy Soldiers games,
I think I got that free on Xbox 360.
do you? Okay,
It was a game of the month.
I got you.
So
They're basically like giving away Titanfall now. I mean, that was like their flagship game. That's why they don't need to fucking have games like that without a single player. That has made that game almost worthless now.
mm-hmm.
If it had a strong single player and then had the strong multiplayer, it would have been one of the greatest games, I think, of all time on the Xbox One.
Sure.
Because just the multiplayer on that game was great, but it just wasn't enough for me to want to save the game.
Right.
And, I think the developers look past this. They're like, oh, all people want's multiplayer. But the thing is, if you don't have a reason to go back and play a game, you get tired of the multiplayer
Mm-hmm.
and you give it away, then you're not going to be playing that game anymore.
No.
If you go trade it in. And that's what I think happened with that game is everybody played the multiplayer. They got kind of tired of it. And they're like, well, I'm just going to trade it in now because why do I need to hold on to this? Because I'm never going to go back and play the single player because there is no fucking single player.
Right.
And, so I think that is a key thing that you've got to have in a game. Do the single player first, and then after that, do the multiplayer. Make sure it's good too. But the main draw should be the single player. Even though they say, they've looked at statistics that say that people don't, play the single player that much or whatever. Yeah, maybe on the Call of Duty games.
I have two words for that. Fallout 4.
Yeah.
100%
Yeah.
single player, and it's destroying the competition right now. Single player could not be any further from fucking dead. Single player games are the games that win Game of the Year. In case they haven't noticed that. But
Looks like PlayStation's big. They're doing Phantom Pain for $20 off. PlayStation 4 bundle that we already talked about. Looks like that's the only bundle. So it looks like Xbox is really kicking their ass as far as bundles go. And there's 3 different bundles that are $50 off, and where you're getting games from Xbox.
Are you really that surprised?
Well, I thought that maybe PlayStation could put together a couple more bundles, to compete.
Xbox has to compete here because they're behind. So that Microsoft is pulling out the big guns. They're pulling out the stops to try and gain some market share, and they're going to do it. Mark my words, people. They are.
Now PlayStation does have some good deals on some of their big games. Evil Within's $20. God of War Collection, I think that's what that is. God of War 3 Remastered, it's $20. So a lot of their big games that are exclusive are pretty cheap. The Knack game that was a launch title and Killzone Shadowfall, which was a launch title, are both $10 brand new. That's a pretty good deal. All right, moving along. Looks like GameStop is trying to get into the action figure market because I noticed they're offering these exclusive. If you go into a GameStop, I don't know how long it's been since you've been into one, but they have all these like exclusive, like limited run, like um, Superman figures, Batman figures, like like you would see in a comic book store almost. Those polyresin figures that they have. That they're starting to do that. All right. This looks like these are both pre-owned, but you could get a pre-owned Xbox 360 with a 320 gigabyte hard drive, or the pre-owned PS3 with a 250 gigabyte hard drive for $120 each.
That's not bad.
Nah, that's not bad at all, especially if you're looking for. I mean, hell, just as a Blu-ray player,
What is
that and it's
which
the Slim PS3.
which version is the Xbox 360, the E or the Slim?
It's kind of looks like a Slim.
The Slim has the big silver button. The E has the little tiny button.
Yeah, this has a big silver button.
Okay, that would be the Slim. I'd prefer to have the E because that's the final model.
Okay.
Final
How big is
form.
the hard drive on it?
I think the biggest one they offered an aftermarket one. It kicked it up to 320.
Okay.
I mean,
that one's 320 out of the box. All right,
maybe.
and going to the next to last page in GameStop's ad, we have Nintendo, who doesn't seem to be giving a fuck that it's Black Friday at all, because everything is its normal price. I mean, what the fuck? Like, Black Friday, you normally offer stuff at a discount, but here we have Yoshi's Woolly World is $50. Super Smash Brothers Wii U is $60. Splatoon $60.
Why would you even advertise that?
Yeah. Super Mario Maker $60. I mean, these are their normal prices. Their special edition Smash Splatoon Nintendo Wii U with 32 gigabyte deluxe set $280, which is like the normal price for a Wii U. Zelda Hyrule Edition new Nintendo 3DS XL $200.
Stupid.
I mean,
they've kind of given up on the Wii U, it would seem.
It really does, and that kind of upsets me with them. Also, something that is a pretty good deal that's pre-owned. You can get any pre-owned Nintendo Wii system for $50 now.
That's not bad.
So that's not a bad deal if you're looking for a Wii.
I have like
so
4. So.
Yeah, that's it for the GameStop ad. So, I mean, nothing that like just knocks your socks off. And of course, they're offering their. This is what I like to grab a hold of on Black Fridays is their buy two get one free on all their pre-owned stuff. And normally on Black Fridays they have some like really good games. And I don't know if they ship them in for that sale or whatever, but normally they have some like really good like Xbox 360, PS3 games. And if you're trying to beef up your collection, like I know when I went back and did like my PS3 collection, like those are the sales that like I really can beef up my collection. And if you're like if you were big in the PS3 and didn't do much on Xbox 360, it's vice versa, because I mean, you can go in and stock up on all the Xbox, exclusive games. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so that's it on Black Friday. I haven't seen anything else like crazy as far as games. I'll be looking this week just to update, our audience maybe for next for Black Friday coming up. But hopefully we can get a good deal somewhere. But I mean, Walmart's released theirs, Target's released theirs, so I don't think we're going to be just seeing like something crazy between now and then. That's probably going to be our deals this year. So nothing that just kind of knocked me over, but there's some pretty good deals just depending on what you're looking for, But if you're looking for Nintendo, you're fucked.
Yes. Which I was hoping there was going to be a deal on Mario Maker, since I haven't pulled the trigger on that yet, but such luck, man. I guess I got to wait. It's all good, man. So does that wrap up game news, or we got anything
Yeah, I
else?
think so. I think so. Let's move on to movies.
Sure.
I think there was a big one that came out last weekend,
There sure was.
and let me just give the floor to you, sir.
Okay, well, Spectre, I'm going to assume is what you're talking about.
Of course.
Yeah, went to see it. As Tyler is, I'm sure aware, I went to see it kind of late at night, and I get up really early in the morning for work, folks. So I was actually worried about being able to stay awake, but brought a little coffee with me, and um, it started a little bit slow, not super slow, but just a little bit. But when it got going, it got going. When things picked up, man, it took off running. Um, well, I guess we'll go ahead and give people a heads up. We're going to keep this on the minor side as far as spoilers, but we can't really go into detail with this without covering at least a few things that are going to be spoiler related. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you've been warned. Here come the spoilers. The things I liked about it. The fight scene between Bond and Mr. Hinks was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it
That's
was.
one of the better fight scenes that's probably the best fight scene that I've seen in a Bond movie, and one of the better fight scenes that I've seen in any movie in the past 5 to 10 years.
It was just fucking his shit
It
up.
was just like that, ladies and gentlemen, is probably one of the closest things that I've seen to a real fight, because it's dirty, it's violent, shit's getting fucked up. Both these guys are using everything at their disposal to try and put the other guy down. And Bond is severely disadvantaged because, I mean, dude, Batista is a really big guy. I've seen him in person. He's a fucking massive dude. And Bond's the underdog in this one, man. Like, he's just got to use his wits, and he's got to use his kind of gritty, big nuts, all go, no quit kind of mentality, where he's going to do whatever it takes to win the fight, because that's what Bond's all about. And they were just going flat out fucking JR slobber knocker style, man, just knocking the piss out of each other. And it's awesome. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Hinks only has like one line in the whole movie, and that's when he's about to get yanked out of the damn train. When
Yeah.
what do you say, like
He,
cute
he
or
hardly
something?
talks at all. Well, I think did he say anything right before, like when they introduced him when he walked in the room?
I
He
don't
might have said
think
like
so.
one, maybe.
I don't think he did. I think he just went in there
Okay.
and fucked that guy's shit up, and like that was the end
Yeah,
of it, which was honestly more awesome. He
yeah,
just didn't give a fuck. But that was cool. The car chase was really neat. I kind of like the fact that the the switches and all the labels and everything in the car, like you could see that this is probably the first super vehicle that Q Branch has ever built, because
right.
it looks like somebody used a fucking label maker and like labeled it, and it's like old fashioned like Pac-Man rocker switches, and half the thing in the car doesn't fucking work. Like
Right.
like of all the gadgets he uses, like two of them are actually only useful. But like the driving sequence and everything, like seeing two Aston Martins going like flat out, just is awesome. Like that did not disappoint, man. Like we finally got to see Daniel Craig in a fucking supercar chase.
Yeah.
I mean, this was his Goldfinger, basically. They didn't quite take it to the level of gadgets that Goldfinger has, which was the first Bond supercar, but it definitely delivered on the excitement. Just the real incidence of threat.
Hmm.
I gotta say that I wasn't the least bit surprised at the big reveal in the end, where Oberhauser reveals who he really is. I don't think anyone was fucking surprised. I think the whole thing was a fucking ruse. This whole thing. The only thing I guess I was a little bit surprised by was the fact that he and Bond have a history,
Yeah.
almost like they're brothers. They were kind of came up together, and this is a kind of a family fucking feud thing going on. Um, that caught me a little bit by surprise. But the good thing that I liked is they showed how he gets the scar and the middle of
Yeah.
the eye.
Yeah.
Like Bond
I thought that
basically
was
is
cool.
responsible for it. So I was like, wow. And if I remember correctly, I think they may have mentioned that in one of the other Bond movies, that when they were talking about Blofeld and how he got the scar, I think maybe Connery or Moore might have mentioned, "Well, I'm the guy that gave him the scar." And it was really cool to see that explained, and just the fact that as the story unfolds, it doesn't just like throw you into the mix as like a standalone movie. Like the previous three Daniel Craig Bond films like come together perfectly. Like it's all one big plot that was leading to this point, which was
Right.
very craftily written on the writers' parts, man. They really, really did a fan-fucking-tastic job with the writing on this. And in the end, when he's going through the building and the thing's fucking rigged to explode and there's like wires all over the place, that almost seemed like a metaphor to me of the reach that Spectre has, where he's looking at the pictures of all the people that were involved in this whole fiasco up until this point, and all the wires are basically leading back to Blofeld, almost like the moniker of Spectre itself. They have tentacles because they reach into everything. I'm going to say that that wasn't an accident. I'm going to say that when we watch the Blu-ray or whatever and Sam Mendes is talking about it, that he's going to mention that. Mark my words, you heard it here first. The one thing I did not like, and I understand why they did this from a writer's perspective, but it seemed out of character, in my opinion. So we fast forward to the end. Bond's got Blofeld dead to rights. He's got a gun to his head. He's well within his rights to take him out, you know, with absolutely no reprisal or anything coming from the law or whatever. He's just doing his fucking job. I have a hard time buying that James Bond, when he's got Blofeld at his mercy, that he wouldn't pull the trigger. Because if you look through history, I mean, dude, it's just the fucking beginning of Diamonds Are Forever. Like, Connery goes out of his way to put Blofeld away. Like, in the first 15 minutes, he is pissed that Blofeld killed his wife, you know, in Her Majesty's Secret Service. And in the first 15 minutes, Bond kills Blofeld. Like, he fucking grabs his ass, doesn't fuck around, eliminates every person in his way, and throws his ass into a vat of fucking acid without batting an eyelash. Because, like, when he gets set to something, dude, like, Bond is like a fucking attack dog, dude. You just point him in the direction that you want him to go. When he sees a target, he doesn't let up until it's dead. And that just really seemed out of character for me. It's like, all this was building. This is the guy who's basically been responsible, as Oberhauser said, for all the pain in his life. Why wouldn't he kill him? He should have just put two in his head, and that would have been the end of it. I get that at the end, he's walking away. Like, he's saying, I've got better things to do. This isn't me anymore. And he gets arrested by M. You know, I get it from a writer's perspective. That just seems contrary to the character of Bond. Even Daniel Craig's version of Bond. He doesn't care, dude. If there's a bad guy, he's going to take him out. I mean, it's just, they're a threat, and he has, like, in Casino Royale, when he has to do his first two kills to make 00, he does it with absolutely zero compunction. Like, I mean, he fucking, like, when he's killing the guy in the fucking bathroom and shit like that, and he's got the guy in the chair, and he's just sitting there, and he takes him out, and he's just cold and calculated. To me, that is the character. That was started by Connery. Like, this Lothario, womanizing, I don't give a shit, and there are no attachments or anything like that. I have a job, I do my fucking job. That is the core of the character. And this just seemed very, very contrary to that. I understand this is a minor detail, and Daniel Craig swearing up and down, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, I'm done, you know, and if he were to retire on this, that would be fine, because this literally has a beginning, middle, and an end. They could reboot after this, and it would be fine. Because this has a definitive ending. And when you see the movie, guys, it'll make sense. Like, he's basically done playing James, or done being James Bond, and he just wants to go live a normal life. So, I get it, and I wouldn't mind, I guess, if they rebooted it after this, with one simple exception. I would be really disappointed if we only got one movie where Ralph Fiennes plays M. Because he is doing a fantastic job. I never liked Judi Dench. Like, I kind of tolerated her. Ralph Fiennes is the perfect M. He literally is, because he's kind of like a shadow of James Bond. If James Bond were a little bit more composed, a little bit more political, and a little bit less like a thug, he would basically be M. Like, almost like this is like his older brother, who's like a little bit more moderate and a little bit more tolerable. But when M is pushed in this, you can see he can be just as ruthless, which is what I like. When he gets in that guy's face, when he's calling this guy a punk, you know, he's just like, you know, this isn't over, you know, you arrogant little twat, you know, he's played it to such fucking perfection, dude. And I would hate to see that end. If they really reboot this whole thing. But as the long-standing film rumor goes, James Bond isn't an actual person; it's a code name, which would explain why we've seen different guys play James Bond. It's not a person; it's like 007. It's simply a code.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that idea, actually, that anybody can be James Bond. It's like being Batman, like the way that Christian Bale played it. Like, it's a symbol; it's not a person. I kind of like that, actually.
Yeah, I will say that I agree with you. I really like um, the new M. I still like Judi Dench as M. She's a little more reserved and preachy than this new M is, but um, I enjoyed this new variation of it. And like you said, this has had like a perfect um, kind of beginning, middle, and end.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see Daniel Craig walking away, right now, and it being perfect time to walk away, especially the way the story leads him, walking away. And I think, one of the reasons he, it ended like that, because if he would have killed the guy, like the girl in the movie said, I don't want to be a part of this anymore.
Right.
And I think if he would have killed killed Blofeld right at the end, I think it would have solidified him, in that role where he's just a assassin, a killer. Definitely brought him back to more of the human side. He went through that arc of caring, for the girl in Casino Royale, and having to harden himself after she died, and going all the way to here, where he's kind of opening himself back up to like a relationship again, to caring for somebody. And for him to walk away now, and especially to your point where you're saying it's just a code name, and that's kind of how I view it too. And there's so many people that are, I know one of our listeners had said, I don't want to see Idris Elba as Bond, and I don't have that problem with seeing him as a Bond, as playing to that point of it's just a it's just a code name, so anybody could pick up that part and
Sure.
play it. I still say between him and Fassbender would be my
has
two
my vote.
choices for the next one. But I would like, especially, I don't know if you felt this way about the Dark Knight. Like, some people love the Dark Knight, some people, just think it's okay. But the Dark Knight trilogy was perfect, and it introduced so many of the famous Batman villains, but they didn't take it too far. So many times we see a movie series that just keeps going back for more, and it just ends up ruining the entire series, of movies. So I would, like to see, somebody end it, at a perfect point, and you don't even have to reboot it. You can still use the same characters other than Daniel Craig, and introduce a new character as Bond, and his own story. And I don't know, I mean, if Daniel Craig does come back, then great.
It's
If
gonna
not,
be for a paycheck.
it's gonna be cool.
He just seems like he's like, I don't want to do this anymore because I don't
Well,
think
he got
we can do better.
he got really hurt, I want to say, on this last one. I forgot what happened, but
he had to have surgery.
yeah, he got pretty bad. And a lot of people were taking what he said in the news, bad, about him not wanting to do anymore. But I think he was just saying, like, look, this is all I've done for the past few months. I'd rather eat a bullet, or whatever he said, than do another Bond movie right now. Which I'm sure, he's like that. Like, he's suffered for this movie. I'm sure he wants to do anything but Bond right now. I don't know if that means he wants to step away for good. A lot of the rumors I heard were that he was going to do maybe one more,
He's
and then
contractually obligated for one more.
okay, so yeah,
I mean,
but
they can always let him out of the contract, or he can buy his way out. But
yeah.
it's, you know,
Well, I mean, just story wise, I thought this would be the perfect spot. But
I
if
think they
he's
should end it.
obligated for one more movie, then whatever. But
I just don't want to see
yeah,
him drag it out. If he doesn't want to do it, don't make him do it, because that's just going to make a crappy movie.
yeah,
Let
and
it go. I mean, Sam Mendes
but
has said he's done. He's like, I'm not doing another one. This was it for me. And they both seem to say the same thing. They'd rather go out. They'd rather retire champion, basically, like the boxer who wants to go out with the belt.
right,
And I personally can relate to that, Tyler. I really can, because it's like, for the longest time on my YouTube channel, people were like, I want to see another zombie kit. And my answer had always been the same. Like, when I think I can do better than what I've done, then I will. But if I don't think I can do better, I'm not going to do it. I'd rather
right.
just retire that part of me and just let it be, because this is the best that I feel that I can do. You know?
Yeah, and since we're kind of moved on from video games, we're talking about more movies and TV. Speaking of losing the belt, did you see Ronda Rousey get knocked the fuck out last night?
Whoa, I did not see that
Oh
coming.
my
She
god,
got
dude!
laid out, like bloody
I mean,
laid out.
she didn't. She didn't get just beat. She got fucked up,
Yeah,
dude.
I didn't see that
I
coming.
mean, oh Lord! And if you watch the weigh-in from like the day before the fight, or maybe it was I think it was the day before the fight. I mean, she came in just talking shit, getting all up in this girl's face. And this girl, just laid back, and props to her because they said like the reason she got so bloody is because Rousey was coming for her, and this chick that took her down, I think her last name's Holmes,
Yeah,
maybe
Holly Holmes.
Holly Holmes. Yeah, that she just she was a professional boxer, and she just I
She
guess
outboxed her. It's that simple.
outboxed her, and then every time she kept trying to come in for the knockdown, she was punching her. And I watched the Vine of the knockout, and it was disgusting. Holmes just threw her on the ground, and then like kind of moved to the side, and as soon as she stood up, just kicked her in the jaw, and she just went face down.
Yeah, I mean, when she hit the ground, Rousey's hands were at her sides, and Holly was still like beating on her, and the ref had
Yeah,
to pull her
yeah.
off because she was out.
Uh,
She
it
wasn't
was
even
awful.
defending herself.
But they said like she wouldn't even like meet with the media after that. She like went straight to the hospital.
Yeah, yeah, she
So
did. Apparently, the injuries were not like serious, but enough to go to the hospital.
it jacked up her lip. So ugh. Normally when you get beat that bad for a fighter, it's pretty devastating.
It's
Like
when you've never lost. She had a perfect record before this.
there
So,
was I don't know how much you follow boxing, but several years ago, Miguel Cotto fought Margarito, and it was actually speculated that this guy was cheating because um, they found that he was putting plaster in his gloves or something, like the wrap that he was putting on his hands, like I guess when he sweat it hardened up.
right.
And I know he just beat the hell out of Cotto that fight,
Yeah.
and he got suspended for several fights after that. That guy did, and I know Miguel Cotto. He was like a really up and coming fighter at that time,
Hmm.
and he just wasn't the same after that. Here until recently, he got back to where he was like training with Freddie Roach, or he not back, but he actually started training with Freddie Roach now,
Hmm.
and he's been with him for 3 or 4 fights now, I think, and he's kind of got the eye of the tiger again. But sometimes, like as a fighter, when you get beat down really bad, you just
It's disheartening.
and you
Nobody likes
just
to lose, man.
no and lose bad. I mean, when you get
And main event, no less, in her case. This was the
and
main
you
event. She
get
lost.
your confidence kind of taken away. But yeah, I just had to comment on that
We're,
because
we're gonna
it
see a
was.
rematch, dude. You know what's gonna happen. There's no
Oh
way she's
yeah,
gonna take this line down, and
Dana White just saw money signs in
of
his
course.
eyes. I can just see Scrooge McDuck him swimming in the money. But
She needs to change her training, man. She should have been prepared for this, because pretty much all of Ronda Rousey's victories, she just like laid the person out inside of a minute. She should have been able to
yeah,
handle a chick who knows how to punch, because that's what she does. She doesn't do a lot of submissions or anything. She just beats the shit out of the opponent. I don't know what
But
happened, man. You know, you have off nights. You
they say
know,
this girl that beat her is really good, and they were just. I mean, she's undefeated, and she was just waiting for her shot, and she definitely took advantage of it. So
yeah, she
props
did.
to her,
She won fair and
for
square.
that. But I must say, I was kind of glad because I'm tired of seeing Ronda Rousey fucking everywhere. I mean, every show she's on, there with her blank ass expression. She has like no, she shows no emotion. She's just like, yeah, yeah.
I think you don't think
And
she smiles.
I mean, she does occasionally, but like she was on Howard Stern a few weeks ago, and it was just there's just not a whole lot of personality there. I mean, she's a fighter and she's a great fighter, but she's just she was speaking about how like first few years of her life she didn't even speak.
The fuck.
She said that, yeah. So I mean, she's definitely, I don't know. She's different. She definitely has a different personality. I don't want to say she's like autistic or something, but she's definitely. I mean, she's gifted, but
Sure.
she's just different personality type. Very dry, and that's why back when we were talking about the Roadhouse movie, I just don't know if she can carry that because you've got to have some sort of personality to be in a movie.
I'm sure she's.
Otherwise, you have Steel or whatever the fuck the Shaq movie
Oh
was. I
boy.
mean, we've seen Shaq act, and it's
Let's
not
not
pretty. I
talk
mean,
about that. I don't. I'm sure she's working with an acting coach and all this other crap. I don't think they're gonna gamble that kind of money on her without at
they
least
did
putting her
with
through the
Shaq.
paces. Yeah, but that was when Hollywood was at a very different place then. You know, it was a lot less risky to make movies. Now it's very risky.
What was
Like
the movie with Kevin Durant? Like sports personalities generally don't gel well with movies. I mean, I know Kevin Durant was in a movie and it was terrible acting too.
in other movie news, I'd like to declare a kind of a moral victory against the Gem and the Holograms movie, given that
Oh, dude,
it made $2 million, which
it
was even
was
less than it cost to make it.
it was so bad
I didn't even see it.
that
I had a chance to see it for free, and I still wouldn't see it.
well, you can't say it now, buddy, because they
Good,
pulled it out of movie theaters after 2 weeks.
good.
It was doing that bad.
I did hear that
2 weeks.
the Misfits are in it at the end.
Oh,
I
really?
did hear that. Like the post credits, Pizzazz, I think one of the Misfits actually makes an appearance.
Well, in the article I was reading, you'll be happy to know that they did say that the reason that most people didn't care for it or wouldn't watch it was because that it did not say true to the source material,
Good.
and so these directors are going to have to figure out like if the fans don't get like a pretty true representation of what you're actually making to what it was, and I mean, because it was a fucking 80s cartoon.
Right.
Like, why wouldn't you stay true to that if you're gonna make it? If not, you know, give it some other name. Why even
Yeah.
call it Gem Holograms if it's not going to be, true to the source material? But whatever.
In other adaptation news, I've got some somewhat promising ones since I'd like to inject a little positivity into this one. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but this is a very apparently credible rumor that is flying around Twitter, including the gentleman that's involved in this, seems to be dropping hints that he's involved. Apparently, bodybuilder Mike O'Hearn has been cast to play He-Man in the Masters of the Universe movie. And I gotta tell you, dude, if there is any dude alive who literally is a carbon copy of He-Man, it is Mike O'Hearn. I mean, this guy's a professional bodybuilder, so he's like jacked as fuck. Already got the blonde hair, the solid jawline, the pretty boy, handsome face and everything like that. He's really good looking. I mean, this dude literally looks like fucking He-Man. Like, I mean, even more than Dolph Lundgren did. And, you know, of course, the original Master Universe movie got a lot of flack, but Dolph Lundgren actually did pretty good as He-Man, all things considered. Of all the guys who were around back then, he was the perfect guy to play him. But
Yeah.
apparently, he's officially been cast as Prince Adam, meaning we're not just going to see He-Man like in the previous movie. We might actually see a transfer-fucking-mation, which was completely absent from the last time they tried this. I have a feeling that they're going to take a hint from Captain America and basically just put his face on a freaking skinnier guy's body when he's Prince Adam, and then when he transforms, obviously he'll be his regular self, you know, all super oiled up, tan, muscular, blonde, you know, Aryan Superman kind of shit. So it seems to be in good hands. The guy who wrote Thor: The Dark World and the upcoming Thor Ragnarok is writing this. I mean, dude, he obviously knows how to write a movie about a blonde, super-powered fucking muscle guy, so this seems to be in good hands. And Eternia, Tila, especially Battle Cat, apparently are all in the script, so it's kind of clicking off the boxes, man, as far as, like, what we need to see in an MOTU movie. And if you can see behind me here, there's very few people in the world more excited about this than yours truly, so I
Keep your fingers crossed.
just don't, Hollywood, please. I'm begging you from the bottom of my fucking soul. You can fuck up every movie for the rest of your fucking lives. Don't fuck this up. Please get this right. You know, I tolerated the last one. It's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I still get a little bit of tingly when I watch it simply because I loved it as a kid. Is it a great movie? No.
I
don't
love
want
that
to
as a
see.
kid.
As a kid, of course, dude. I was obsessed with He-Man. I didn't give a shit that the movie like completely missed the goddamn mark. Dude, seriously, as we have Skeletor, Castle Grayskull, Snakepound, He-Man, Prince Adam, Tila, Man-at-Arms, and it takes place on fucking Eternia, and He-Man rides Battle Cat. You do that, I'm happy. That's really all it takes, man. You click off all those fucking boxes, have an action beat every 2 pages in the script. That's it. The dialogue doesn't have to be Oscar-worthy. I just want to see Prince Adam hold the fucking sword, say the words, and transform. I want to see him fucking grow, Hulk style, into He-Man. Just give me one. Like, let me relive this fucking childhood memory of mine and let it be awesome now that technology has finally caught up with us and we can do this realistically on film. Please, please, Hollywood. Please, this would be my, if I was dying, this would be my dying fucking wish that they would get this right. Speaking of dying wishes, J.J. Abrams, you're a class act. I just want to personally thank you for granting that one, I forget the gentleman's name, for granting this guy's dying wish who was dying of cancer.
That was classic.
And he wanted to see Star Wars The Force Awakens. And he granted his wish, and apparently the guy died like 5 days later. So this could not have come sooner. I'm not that surprised that he did it because he had a similar situation with Star Trek, and he granted the guy's wish. So, dude, you're a class act, man, and it's really cool that you reached out to this guy. And I guess he had to watch it at home or something like that. And the movie's not even finished, apparently. It was like just a rough cut of the film. So he might see some things that we might not see in the fucking. Oh, I'm fucking jealous. I really am, because like he got to see like the director's vision of the movie. Oh, lucky bastard.
Yeah, that was really good. I'm glad that JJ did that. Speaking to some Avenger news, you said something about Captain America and the Hulk. I'm going to a comic convention in New Orleans here in January, and I just saw that Jeremy Renner and Chris Evans were both announced to appear there, and the director of Winter Soldier,
Directors.
Yeah, the directors, both of them, I guess, are going to be there.
Awesome.
And do a panel. So I'm interested in sitting on that. I looked at autographs and stuff. For Jeremy Renner, it was like $100. So I think I'm gonna pass on that one. $150 if you have like a personalized item. So
did they really need money?
I saw there was like a
they're millionaires.
Personal, yeah. I mean, I guess you have to entice them some way to go out on the road and do these things. But okay. I can't hate on them for making a little money. But I'm not gonna pay it personally. I'm not going to pay it personally to go see it.
It's not worth it to me. But those same two guys are directing Civil War and actually part one of.
See, that's that's what I'm hoping that I like. If I go to the panel, I want to see if I can, hear kind of what's going on with that, if they have any footage or anything like that. And I'm thinking maybe that'll be the case because it's in January,
And the
and
movie comes out before Comic-Con. So
right. So,
very possible.
um, and also, in some other news, I watched and you might have a completely different opinion on this than me,
What's that?
but I watched Supergirl, the first video or first episode, and that is dog shit. That
It is
is
absolute dog shit. I completely
a
agree.
pile of dog shit.
I
So
fucking
do
hated
not
it,
watch
dude.
Supergirl. It has every like cliche with women.
Hmm.
Um, they don't even mention Superman by name. It's just like the big guy,
Him.
my cousin. Like she's never met Superman at all, and apparently he's too fucking busy to even come say hey to her, meet her, or anything. And I mean, the plot is so fucking stupid. It's like something that you would see on like it almost is like it's a teeny bopper show or something. I don't know. It's terrible. That's all the time I'm gonna give it. It's fucking terrible. Don't watch it. I also saw that Heroes Reborn's already talking about. I've kind of zoned out on that one. I was excited about it, but it really couldn't hold my attention.
No.
I don't know why they thought that this would be successful if they're not going to reboot the entire series. Trying to pick up from a show that ended years and years ago and hope that new people were going to follow it. I don't know what they were thinking, or if this was just service to the fans of the original one, which is what it kind of seems like. But I saw that's in trouble being canceled. And also, I went to, this is a little bit lighter TV news, but sad at the same time. My girlfriend, for our anniversary, she actually got us tickets to see the Mythbusters live last night.
Nice.
And that's one of my probably favorite TV shows of all time. I love the Mythbusters. I always thought that those guys were probably had the coolest job of anybody. I mean, they could sit around, blow shit up all day, do like cool experiments and stuff, and get paid to do it. And they actually said last night that they filmed the last episode of Mythbusters on Wednesday.
So the show's over with.
Yep, it's officially ended, and they said starting in January, the first week of January, they'll have like the last 11 episodes airing, and they had a good run. They kind of asked, they had a like question and answer portion of the show, and the whole name of this tour is the Jamie's Farewell Tour, because I guess Jamie's completely unplugging from the TV. He said that Jamie and Adam actually have a TV show that's in production, and it's like a fictional TV show, and it's supposed to be maybe airing sometime either next year or the next, the pilot or whatever. So who knows if that's going to take off. But as far as like TV, he's pretty much stepping away from TV, going out on the road. So it sounds like he's ready to kind of fade away into the background. And he said that after years of doing all this stuff, he said it's really prepared him, and he's kind of become a expert on contingency plans and all that. So he has some I think contracts maybe with the military and a couple other people or whatever to, do projects outside of TV and all that. And he said, he wants to start, working in the real world, not do the myths or whatever, which, I can respect. I mean, he's been doing it for like 12, 13 years now. And, but I was glad I got to see them on tour before, they retired or whatever. So it was kind of a sad thing, but a really fun thing. Sure. The last thing they did, it was so badass. They had this like bulletproof glass thing that this guy stood in. They had the guy dressed in head to toe suit of armor, and they had Adam had a machine gun full of paintballs.
Nice.
And I mean, just unloaded on this guy. And of course, Jamie always like has to outdo Adam. He had like a fucking anti-aircraft cannon, like 4 like muzzles, and just like boo boo. I mean, it sounded like a cannon going off, and it was just going side to side, and like the entire like glass behind him was just covered with paint.
Wow.
And then the guy steps away, and there's just like his silhouette.
Nice.
But anyways, they did all kinds of like cool experiments and stuff like they did in the show, like right in front of you. And it was really neat. It was cool to say. I always have loved that series. So it's sad to hear that it's ending now. So
that does suck.
Yeah.
Speaking of series, okay, I think we're out of the woods on this one now, so that anything that we can talk about here, I don't think is going to be a spoiler to anyone because people are hanging on the edge of their seat. But I do actually want to show you something that I saw in the grocery store, and I got to tell you, this angered me, even though this didn't give me any spoiler because I watched the show right when it happens. But it did irk me to death that a magazine would actually publish something like this. Excuse me a second while I find the picture. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to hold this up for the camera. I don't know if you can read that, but
hold it still for 1 second.
Us
That's
Weekly.
not what I focus on. I see it's Glenn though.
Yes. Okay, so it's the cover of Us Weekly that I saw in the grocery store. And it says, this is literally like maybe 6 or 7 days after this episode aired. And it says, "Is Glenn still alive?" Some people may not have even watched the show. And this is like a major magazine publication that is putting this out. That actually kind of infuriated me that they would do that, because that's such a huge spoiler that they could be potentially giving away to someone who is maybe on vacation for a week or something like that. And they're coming back to the grocery to get food and they see that and they're like, what the fuck? They would completely ruin that huge arc that really caught everyone by surprise. I don't know about you, but it shocked the fuck out of me when that actually happened, where I was like, what the fuck?
Like, basically, if you don't watch that show the night of, then you're going to have it fucking ruined for you. My mom told me, she watches it with my dad, and she said that like 4 people posted on Facebook, oh, I can't believe they killed Glenn. Right. He was my favorite character. Now, there's some debate on if he's really dead or not.
Right. I don't think he is.
I don't think he is either, but therein is the problem, because with a show like Talking Dead right after that dissects everything, there you could have had a great twist where everybody was just floored with suspense, like, oh my God, or just floored with Glenn's death. And then 3 or 4 episodes later, we found out he's not dead, he escaped, and which we don't know yet, of course. Right. I'm just...
Hopefully we're going to get the answer tonight, but I doubt it.
Yeah, in a few minutes. But I imagine they're probably going to wait till like the end of the season to do anything on that. But, with the dissection of everything on Talking Dead, that possibly has ruined the surprise for Walking Dead. And then you've got all these people with spoilers. So it sucks that that's the way it is, but it seems like pretty much now that you've got to watch it live to be surprised on that. And that does suck. And I thought the Morgan episode was really awesome.
It was good.
I thought that was, especially after something like that happens one week, then the next week to have that, and it was just like, what the hell are they doing here? I'm pissed if we don't find out about Glenn, but to have that whole episode on Morgan, I thought that was really good. Kind of shows us where he's been, how he learned his skills and all that. Also, in Walking Dead news, they've hired Jeffrey Dean Morgan to play.
Negan.
Yeah, so that's going to be awesome. I love him as an actor. I think he's going to be really good as the enemy.
I would hate to see him as a villain though, because I always like him as the good guy. But
I
Negan
do
starts off
too.
as a good guy though, so
I mean, he's a really great actor,
sure.
and I think that's one thing that we've been missing ever since the governor died off
Yeah,
on the show
as
is having
villain.
that big baddie. You know, we need somebody that Rick can go up against and fight against. So, but yeah, but speaking of that, Jimbo, we're getting really close here to the start of Walking Dead now. So
Dude, please tell me you have a DVR.
I do, but my girlfriend's in the room, and she is ready to watch this shit.
Fucking rewind that shit.
You're gonna get me in trouble.
Oh, come on. Dude, think about it this way. If you start it like 10 minutes late, then you could skip the commercials.
Well, that is true.
That is the ups. That's why I like having a DVR. Like, I'll start it like 10, 15 minutes late, so that way, when the commercial comes on, bam, I'm flying through it.
But I'm thinking about here in probably the end of December.
What's up?
I'm thinking about canceling my. We get a cable package with our apartment here, and it's very basic. But I know AMC is part of it, and you get your CBS, ABC, NBC, all that with it, as well as some ESPNs. But and I think FX too. But I think I'm going to swap to that. Get rid of. I have DirecTV now. Get rid of DirecTV, and I think I'm going to go to just streaming now. I can get my HBO directly now through HBO Go or HBO Now, whatever it is.
HBO Go.
Well, Go, I think you have to use with a subscription to something else. There's another one that's actually a standalone that's like $14.99 a month or $19.99.
I think that's HBO Go. I'm almost positive. I know which one you're talking about.
Okay, well, I thought there were two separate things, but maybe not. But I know Cinemax is doing that. So basically, every big cable service is going to have their own now. I know CBS was one of the few that doesn't do their shows on Hulu, and they're going to have their own little streaming service with like basically all their big shows. If you're a Star Trek fan, they've got every series of Star Trek, through the original series,
Right.
all the way to Enterprise and Voyager.
As long as you have
all
basic cable, you have to have that to get AMC.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. With AMC, like I said, I will have the basic cable through my apartment complex, but I mean that's going to save me probably $1,200 a year because I'm going to go from like paying about $140 for cable with all the premium channels and all that to paying like 40 or $50 a month.
That works.
So yeah, I mean that's gonna save a lot of money next year. So
Do it.
I think it'll be worth it. It's gonna suck losing the DVR, but I mean,
Well,
it is what it is.
If you have like on demand, via streaming, then I guess it doesn't matter. You don't really need a DVR. But honestly, dude, I'd love to join you on that with one problem. Stars, as far as I know, has not released an on-demand service, and Ash vs. Evil Dead just started, and there's no fucking way I'm getting that taken away.
I think you'll see that probably in the next year.
And when they do,
that.
I'll leave.
That's
the one holdout.
There's one series on Stars that I love, and that's
Black Sails.
Black Sails. Yeah, so that's the one I don't want to miss out on. But everything else, like I love Cinemax for Banshee and some of their other series. Showtime, I think, has their own streaming service now for Homeland and all that. So,
have you watched Ash vs. Evil Dead yet?
I have not.
I highly recommend.
I heard it's good. Everybody said it's awesome, so I can get caught up on it pretty quickly.
Basically Evil Dead 4, but there was one thing that I noticed that was missing from it that honestly pissed me off at the beginning, but now that I know why, I guess I'm less aggravated. they do not mention the events of the third movie whatsoever. Like it's like it doesn't
Like
exist.
a contract or something.
It's a rights thing. Army of Darkness or Evil Dead 3 or Medieval Dead as it was originally called belongs to Universal. And the first two movies belong to Sam Raimi. He owns the rights to it. So
Okay.
they're basically treating it like the whole time travel thing never happened. Like when he tells the story, he's basically telling the story of Evil Dead 2, and that's where it ends. And then we fast forward, 30 years, and we're up to this. Which, don't get me wrong, that's fine. That explains why he doesn't have the robotic hand and everything that happened during the third movie. He just has a fucking prosthetic hand. Of course, he has the chainsaw attachment. And I have to warn you, the first episode is really slow. Like, it's a very slow burn, and it takes a while before we get to see Ash going into fucking high gear. But when he gets into high gear, it doesn't let up. Like, it's almost like he's coming out of retirement, because he's like, I don't do that anymore. That some of the CG is fucking horrible, and I think they overuse it a little bit. They do a lot of practical, don't get me wrong, which Evil Dead is known for. And when they do blood, they do it big, which is exactly what I want to see in an Evil Dead movie. Or Evil Dead show, rather. But when he gets back, dude, it's everything that you want Ash to do, he's clicking it off. The thing with the fucking, the camera going through the woods, check. It like beating on the doors, trying to get into where Ash is, check. I mean, they're just clicking off the shit that you want to see in Evil Dead, and it's all going along. So
That's good.
you need to check it out. I'd rather have this than a new Evil Dead movie because they've already picked this up for season 2. Ash could go on almost forever.
Yeah.
So I'm digging it. That's the reason I'm going to keep cable for right now.
Yeah. I don't blame you for that. But yeah, I'm just gonna do it to save some money this year.
I don't blame
With all the streaming services now and having good internet and all that, there's you almost can cut out the middleman because you're basically paying for all the channels that you don't want. I mean, I've got a ton of channels I don't watch. I mean, with the exception of probably 10, I'd say, on my entire cable service. I think they'll eventually change it to where you can like custom pick, certain kind of tailor your own package. But until we get to that point, I'm just not fooling with it anymore. So
there's one thing that I forgot to mention.
What's up?
And I think if we did not do this, we would be doing a great disservice to our listeners.
All right.
We have listener questions.
Oh, yeah, we need to do that for sure.
Several.
All right.
Some of them are quick, so I'll tell you what. We'll get the quick ones out of the way first. Because I know you got to watch Walking Dead, and I'm up to watch it too, and I'm sure anyone listening can understand that. Okay, so one of them is just a really quick question we'll both answer right off the cuff. Boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
Boxer briefs. Done. Best of both worlds, ladies and gents.
That's right.
That was from Aaron Ionaro, by the way. Thank you for the question, Aaron Ionaro. He also asks, what would you miss the most if the zombie apocalypse actually happened? I would miss watching The Walking Dead. I think that would be at the top. Some people say, like, dude, you'd be in it. Yeah, but it sucks. That's the problem. Like, if you watch The Walking Dead, living in that is fucking sucks. Like, you don't want to do that. You don't have anything. Every day is a fucking struggle. Everyone's trying to kill you. I would miss... We're in the second golden age of television right now, Tyler. Television is surpassing movies as far as quality. Like, the best writing, as far as I'm concerned, is on television right now.
Yeah, for
it
sure.
hasn't been this good for like 50 years. TV finally caught up to movies. So, as fucking cliche and American as it may sound, man, there's a lot of great shit on TV right now, and I would really be upset if I couldn't do that anymore. But I'm going to pick that. What's your pick, dude? One thing you would miss.
Air conditioning.
Oh, shit. I don't even... Dude, you went even baser than I did. See, now I sound like the asshole because I picked the shallow thing. You're like, air conditioning, motherfucker. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you.
I live in Mississippi, so we have extremely humid and hot summers, so I don't think I could do without that.
You're so pragmatic, dude. I love it. But God, now I feel like an asshole. All right, I'll tell you what. All right, I'll pick one quick rational thing since I picked the shallow thing just to kind of level the playing field. Running water.
Oh yeah,
Like
for
taking
sure.
a hot shower and shit like that. Not having that every day would get old real quick. Let me tell you.
Yeah, Rick looks like he needs a bath really bad. I
A
mean,
lot of, and
his
so does Carol. I can't even imagine the BO coming off this fucking. I mean,
uh,
eventually they say you go scent blindness, like you don't even notice it anymore. Like, you ever
hmm
notice when you try a new cologne, you can only smell it for like the first 3 days, then after that, you just can't smell it anymore.
right.
You get accustomed to your own smell. But oh god, that's fucking gross. It really is. So that one was also from Aaron Ironhour. Thank you for the questions, dude. We have two from Jorge Andres Sandoval. Yeah! I went up a notch on that one just for you, buddy. He's got two good questions. Okay. He's got a rapid fire question that I guess we have to answer right off the top of our head, so you've been warned.
All right.
If you were if you had to answer in 10 seconds, in other words, what would be your gut answer? What would be your top 3 film theme songs? I'll answer first, so I'll give you a second to think about it. The James Bond theme. Fuck. Man, I'm really having to think about this, actually. I'm drawing a blank. Like, James Bond would be the first one because that's very memorable.
All right, I'll give
Go ahead.
one.
Do it.
Just give you a second. Princes of the Universe.
Oh, shit.
Uh,
Dude, you fucking suck. That's a good one. God
yeah.
damn it. Oh, dude, I hate that you took that one. Can we include TV? I mean, is that kind of cheating?
Yeah, you can. Because that was used in TV as well as the.
It was. The A-Team.
Okay.
I mean, bum, ba, bum, 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 bum. That's such a good fucking song.
What about the? I don't know the actual name of this song, but you know the guitar strumming on Kill Bill. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh
dun.
my god.
You know it.
Really?
Yeah, I like
That's
that.
a left fielder. Let's see. I gotta pull one out here. Like a really good one. I got it. I got it.
All right.
I'm taking a cue from you here. Flash! Oh,
Oh
Queen, dude.
damn!
Oh!
You know what? A lot of people don't realize is Queen did so much.
Soundtrack work.
Soundtracks back then. I mean, they were just so badass.
They're
Back
good
in
at
the
it.
day. Huh, let me think.
Killer themes. You got one left.
Killer themes for movies. Hmm.
It's tough, isn't it?
It really is. Off the top of your head, thinking of this, I'm trying to think of something that's like really catchy.
If I sat down and thought about it, I could probably come up with a bunch.
All right, I got one. I don't know why this popped in my head, but The Crow.
Which
With
song?
Brandon Lee. I always think of the Dead Souls by Nine Inch Nails.
Really? You think that'd be the theme?
Yeah, I think that would be the theme for that one. I mean, like when you see a lot of the trailers for that movie, like that song.
Mm.
I think I want to say that was the song used in that one.
I would have thought it would have been like the one that was by The Cure or the one by STP, which was Big Empty by STP. So that was
Yeah,
all the commercials.
Big Empty though was. I don't
It was on
think
the
they
soundtrack.
used that in any of the trailers.
It was
Yeah,
on the commercials.
but
I went to
wanna
see
say,
that on Friday the 13th when it came out.
Damn,
14 years old.
I didn't get to see that one in theaters, unfortunately.
Dude, I fucking lived for that movie. I played the soundtrack like every day.
Dude, when I watched that movie, I just wanted to be like the Crow every year for Halloween.
A lot of people did. I'm sure that was a very popular. Oh, dude, I just had a good one
That
too.
was so goth too. Like I was so not
It was
goth.
the 90s, man. That's
Yeah.
when the goth scene was huge. Damn it, I just had a good one, but now I forgot.
I'd have to like look at the.
Oh, I got it. Before I forget, I'm sorry. Wanted. Every Day is Exactly the Same by Nine Inch Nails. That has one of the best
Oh
fucking
yeah, yeah.
hooks of any song I've ever. I'm not even a huge Nine Inch Nails fan, but that song is awesome. Just like the opening hook, and it's just like, like some days I think I can see into the future. And Trent Reznor is just being awesome Trent Reznor in that one. That is a fucking great song. And a good movie. I liked it. I didn't care for the hate. So that's 3
Okay,
each.
you're right. They use like Machines of Ever Loving Grace in the trailer, and at the end, it was Big Empty.
They should have just used the Cure one. I mean, that was like the theme song. Every
This is
night I
the fish
burn,
trailer.
dream the crow like dream. I mean, it's in the fucking lyrics.
My brother hates The Cure. I love The
I
Cure,
love the
but
Cure, dude.
like that was one of his favorite songs. Like he was like, I hate The Cure, but I love that song. He also loves what was it?
Does your
Not
brother
Friday
listen
Night
to this
Love, but
podcast?
Just Like Heaven. No, he doesn't.
Oh, damn it! I was about to piss him off. I
You're about to say
I do a
Heaven,
pretty
say-
decent Robert Smith impression. Damn it!
Do it.
You took the thunder out of it, dude. Show me how you do that trick. It's not really hard. You just have to sound whiny and British.
Well, which is the whole. Well, it was there was like a whole movement back then. It was The Cure. What was the other group? Sisters of Mercy, maybe. That had that same kind of feel.
The
And
Crow was heavily based off of The Cure visually. Even James O'Barr admitted that. Like the makeup and stuff like that. It like Kiss and The Cure were his two biggest influences.
yeah.
All right, so we have one more question. Again from Jorge Andres Sandoval. What game or system have you found while game hunting on the cheap that you thought you were going to have to spend a ton of money on? Now, that's a very good question. Do you need a minute to think? Because I already know what mine is.
No, I've only found like one or two things that. Well, no, you go ahead. Go ahead. I've found a couple of pretty rare stuff.
Let's see. Well, he says game or system, so I'll give you one of each. I got Newtopia for $30 for the TurboGrafx
Oh.
in person. This wasn't a lucky eBay score, and dude, I didn't even have to beat them down. That was what they were asking for it. I mean, it's the same guys that I got this from. They had this, and this I beat them down on a little bit. They wanted 125. This is Barman 93 for our listeners who aren't watching us on YouTube. And if you're not watching on YouTube, why the fuck aren't you doing that? It's awesome. Barman 93 complete in the box. I knocked him down to $100, which was the first and I think only time I've ever paid $100 for a video game. So that would be my game. My system, in the same wheelhouse, I got my Turbo Duo for $80.
Okay, that's a good deal.
And I only had to throw $50 into it to get it fixed, so I'm into it for $130. It sells for like $400. That's a fucking home run in my opinion.
I got a Sega CD box for like $40 at this game store. I guess they had like a bunch of them,
Good.
and nobody would buy Sega CD systems or whatever. I mean, it was the
The fuck are
Model
they thinking?
2. It was Model
That's
2.
the one you want. That's the better version.
But now it's gone up in price considerably, but
absolutely.
especially complete in box. But that would be the system. I found a lot of pretty rare games, not like, oh my god, this like EVO or anything like that. Although I found an EVO on eBay. I want to say a couple years ago I got that for like $125, and now like that's one of the super rare games for Super Nintendo. I want to say now it sells for like $600.
Wow.
EVO. It's a really rare game. It came out like real late in the Super Nintendo's life, and kind of when they were starting to move on to the 64 or whatever right before then, where they didn't do real high print runs of games, and it kind of fell into that being hard to find. I found a Super Mario RPG out in the wild. I think I might have paid like $20 for it, but it was just the card only. I found several working design Sega Saturn games at this little CD store, and the guy knew what they were worth, but he hooked me up on a deal. I think I got Shining Wisdom for
Nice.
like $30 or $40, and that goes for over 100 now. That there was like a Sega Ages working designs game, and it was basically like um, it was Afterburner 2,
Oh wow.
um, and it was like 3 or 4 Sega games that were ported to Sega Saturn,
Hmm.
and I got it for like $20-30 at a store, and it goes for over 100 now. Any of those working designs games are like
Big
super
money.
rare, hard to find, yeah.
Hmm.
And there's a reason why like they put a lot of work into those games. All of the covers and stuff are like full. Have really nice manuals. A lot of the manuals had like stickers in them, little fan clubs, little inserts and stuff. They put a lot of time and work in that. A lot of the CDs had like there were different variations for like Lunar Star. Well, I'm trying to think of what the Lunar games, what they did for them. I want to say on the Lunar games they actually had different CDs that came in the Sega CD cases. So, the working designs games are always pretty rare. But I'd say that's it for games. I mean, I've had some luck, but I haven't just found that like, super rare like. Um, Little Samson or
Oh,
stuff like
and
that.
now it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
It's
I
just
think
not
the
going to happen.
time has passed.
Well, I just want to give a very quick shout out before we go to Mr. Ollie Longs. For those of you who don't know who he is, just look up Banjo Guy Ollie on YouTube. He's responsible for the little intro clip that you'll be seeing on with the that was playing during the logo flipping at the beginning of this video. Ollie custom did that. Just for us, just for me and Tyler. So, Ollie, first of all, thank you very much. Really appreciate that. He's a listener and a fan of the Nerd Bucket,
Appreciate
man.
it, man.
Fellow Bucketeer. Really talented guy. He does video game covers, music covers. He plays, I don't know, a dozen instruments, man. There's like segments in his video where it shows literally like a fucking Hollywood Squares thing, and he's playing every single instrument. We're talking like a dozen.
Damn.
It's insane. Like, this guy is a fucking true musician. Really, really talented, really funny guy. I'm sorry, go ahead.
A banjo
It's hard to play because you
yeah,
got to
it's
use all your
honestly
fingers.
like fucking like really hard to play.
It's
So
very hard to play. He plays guitar, mandolin, all kinds of stuff, man. And
wow,
it's really entertaining. He's a really fun guy. I forget the name of his sidekick, which is a puppet who speaks in this kind of weird French accent, who's fucking hilarious. Holly has a video where his little puppet dude is like trying the fucking Oculus Rift. It's fucking hilarious. You gotta watch it, man. But Ollie is a really, really cool fucking guy, man. We're buddies on Facebook. He's a really stand-up guy, and he had asked me, if we need help with any music, and I'm like, well, now that you mention it, we need somebody to do a little quick theme for us. So he was kind enough to do that. I look forward to working with Ollie in the future. Ollie, I'm gonna go ahead and throw out a proposition to you just on this show and right here, man. I would love to do a cover of Just Like Heaven for Tyler's brother, where Ollie can do a cover on banjo, and I'll be happy to sing it. I do a pretty decent Robert Smith when I really get amped up, and
there we go.
if it's okay with you, Tyler, I'd like to close us out with that, where I'm just gonna bust out the fucking first verse just for your brother. Make sure he listens to this, because I love busting balls. It's fucking awesome.
Oh, and before you do this,
What's up?
last week I actually saw it's a YouTube video and it's badass, and it's these guys like out in Virginia somewhere. I want to say it's in Virginia, and they are playing banjos, and one guy's like sitting there hitting on an anvil, and they're playing Thunderstruck by AC/DC
I
with
heard about that.
banjos. It's badass. Check it out.
I will do that. Well, we will go ahead and sign out before I fucking torture your brother and probably everyone else listening with a little bit of The Cure. But again, I am Jimbo from Retro Game Lounge. That, I hope I'm pointing the right way, is Tyler from Metroid's Primed.
I'm somewhere.
Here's some. There is Metroid's Primed. If you're listening to us on iTunes, first of all, thank you very much, man. We love all you guys. It's really cool that we have an audience just to listen to two buddies bullshit. If you're watching us on YouTube, Bucketeers, man, you guys are fucking awesome. You get your Nerd Bucket t-shirts on spreadshirt.retrogamelounge.com. If you want to rock the bucket, we're working on the hats, so please be patient with that. Patient. Why did I put that in the present tense? I don't know. I'm an idiot. Okay. It's because I'm excited to do Robert Smith. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Show me how you do that trick. The one that makes me scream, she said. The one that makes me laugh, she said. And threw her arms around my neck. Show me how you do it. And I promise you, I'll run away with you. I'll run away with you. I love you, Towers, brother. Thank you for listening.
I'm so going to add the. I wonder if I can find like the karaoke track for that. I will dub it in with your singing there.
Dude, do it. Dude, yeah, no, me and Banjo Guy
I can
Ollie.
do that. I can actually do that very easily. So
Okay, me and Banjo Guy Ollie, we're gonna rock that fucking song, man. You're gonna hear the banjo version.
Well, I can't do it before the we put up the podcast, but I might can like do the snippet and then add the audio afterwards. And if he does the banjo playing, I probably can isolate. Well, I've already got your voice done just through the video, so I can isolate it. And then if he wants to just play it with his banjo, I can add it into that song right there. So,
sorry,
and there's the cat.
And there's the cat, Roxanne. She came up to say hello. Well, Banjo Guy Ollie, the offer has been made, my friend. Hopefully we can get together and do it. I would love to do a song with him, man. Only if I can do it silly, but. Thank you, everyone, so much. We've been on a hiatus, man, but the bucket is fucking back. We're going to be back to weekly episodes, man. Thank you, everyone, for your patience, everyone who has stuck with us, everyone who's a real, true blue listener. Yeah, you guys are awesome, man. Like, it's awesome. We've got the best viewership and listenership in the entire world, man. It's great feedback, and it's great to interact with you guys. But you can check us out on Facebook. Just look up the Nerd Bucket. That is where we are. You can also check out my channel on Facebook, Retro Game Lounge. Is Metroids Primed on Facebook?
No, not anymore. Now they've made the change where you have to give your real name.
Oh, well, you can create a separate page for it where it's set up.
Yeah, I need to do that. I just hadn't done that, so.
You do. So, again, thank you, everyone, for stopping by and checking us out. And I'm going to let Ollie close us out with that awesome fucking hook he hooked us up with. Thanks, Ollie. And we'll see you guys next week. Same bucket time, same bucket channel.
Later, guys.
Later, guys.